Vamos a jugar. Dale.
You are now listening to The Sports Table.
You know what's funny about Highly? I went to a restaurant. I had to pick up some food. I go to the restroom, all Hispanic. You know, you see like flies everywhere. I look to my left, and it says blokes. I look to my right, and it says Sheila's. And I'm like, so these are the doors at Outback Steakhouse.
They just stole the Outback
They stole the signs from the Outback Steakhouse, and they put it on the front of their doors.
With Chris.
I was hacked here at work on my Facebook, and a friend of mine posted a status of the closet is dark, I'm coming out. And everyone was like, it's about time. I have to change something about my personality. Bring my girlfriend as many places as I can.
Theo Carlos.
That first take show, for the love of Jesus, man. That's like watching the Bravo channel, man. With Skiptora Bayless and Stefania A. Smith. Give me a freaking break, man. Housewives of Bristol. And watch those two little bitches bicker back and forth.
Alan.
I'm very curious because they present something completely different from the general politics amongst the big families. And I just don't know what to expect out of those two. Maybe we're taking over a dragon?
What's that?
And Theo George.
No, yeah. No, it's for last night. Yeah. I mean, no, you know what? I'm going to go back to watching. I don't know what I'm watching. Toda la mierda que está ahí, ¿qué cosa hay?
Because here, nothing is off the table.
Can you imagine that conversation when they start nailing it in there? Yes.
No, I want the explanation.
Que lo coge un bloke.
Yeah.
Que lo coge un bloke.
Yeah.
You know how many people?
¿Qué carajo estás, Chila?
You know how many,
¿Cuánto va un Chila?
you know how many people have stopped in front of the doors and gone back and asked, where the hell is the men's bathroom?
Porque vi un bloke ahí, pero ¿qué es eso?
¿Qué coño bloque y chila ni un carajo, chico?
I'm not sorry, I've been drinking, I've been smoking, I'm not thinking about tomorrow, past the bottle, I'm in trouble, okay I know, but I'm not sorry, no I'm not sorry, I said I'm not sorry, no I'm not sorry. So pass me that. Been a long day, girl, I need to bed up. Too drunk to drive, in the cab to come and get us.
I think he started the bar way too high already. ¿Qué?
I don't think you turned his mic off.
It's on now.
It's because I left it on. Yeah. Now you're good. We're back at the sports table, but I can't hear myself. Maybe it must be me.
I can hear you.
I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me either?
I cannot hear me.
Oh.
I can hear the music. I still don't understand what it's saying.
It's a good start to the show. We're back, everybody.
2 weeks off.
It's been, has it been? No, it's been 1 week.
This is week 2.
This is yeah. We're back, and we have so much to get to today. I'm Chris, and I'm joined by Theo Carlos to my left.
I'm here.
Alan to my right.
Hey-o.
And a special guest appearance. That's what I'm going to start saying now. We have George in the studio.
The microphone's not working, but I'm here.
Welcome back.
What is
We can
it?
hear you
Special
fine.
guest.
Might be the headsets.
I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out in the break. But welcome back, everybody. It's been a week since we've talked to you last, and we have a lot to get to. Dolphins are in the news. Heat are in the news. Trade deadline. There are cities on fire across the world.
Yes.
The Olympics are in the heat of it. Bob Costas
Nobody
is back.
cares.
He's not dead. Did you see the video? Have you seen the video of the wolf that's roaming inside the hotel?
No.
Some lady in Sochi was
No.
filming, and a random wolf just was walking through the hotel lobby.
I was a setup. Jimmy Fallon did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then I take that back.
Well, I know they have this horrifying like pedophile mascot running around Sochi.
Yeah. That couldn't fit in the car.
The polar bear thing. They like attacking people, trying to hug them. They're all running away for fear of their life.
Yeah.
You know what I found amazing? I heard on the news, or maybe when they were reporting on the Olympics, they passed over 100,000 condoms.
Yeah.
For the athletes.
Right.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, but that happens
No,
every
I
year.
didn't know that.
Yeah, the Olympic
That
Village
happens
is like a
every year.
giant orgy.
I don't know about a giant orgy, but there's a lot of banging going on.
There's some app that lets you find out in your area who's willing to go with you real quick. And apparently, there's a super app for the people in the Olympic Village, and it is all about finding who's the hot volleyball girl that you can get to.
Right. I mean, the Olympics are going on. Some North Korea stuff came out. It's not very funny. Have you heard the United Nations review of North Korea?
No, enlighten.
I'll save it for later, but they equate it to Hitler Germany.
Wow.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Laugh, but
No, it's
In
not
what
funny. In regards to the amount of heinous crimes against humanity. But we'll
Wow.
get to that later.
Yes,
Wow.
we will.
Like I said, stuff is going on in Venezuela and the Ukraine,
Thailand.
The Dolphins are doing their thing.
Same thing as in Thailand and Ukraine. Burning.
In Venezuela.
Burning in Venezuela. Burning, upheaval, uprisals.
There's a lot to get to, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna have.
What do all those places have in common? By the way?
Idiots running them.
Good job, George. Idiots running them. People that are not competent to run countries and run teams and organizations are running countries and teams.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to break and we're gonna come back with an old favorite of ours. He's Mr. Dolphin for us, Troy Stratford.
Yes, Troy.
Is coming on the show so we can hammer him about the Dolphins and just get a little bit of. I really want to ask him some incognito and Jonathan Martin stuff and just the overall embarrassment as a Dolphin fan. So don't go in and we'll be right back with Troy Stratford.
Down at an English fair, one evening I was there, when I heard a showman shouting underneath the flare, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are standing in a row. Big ones, small ones.
You're going to need to explain yourself.
Give 'em a twist of
You're going to need to explain what the hell this is.
Look, I want you to put the image of George just kind of strolling around. Let's say Benihana.
Benihana?
And this is the theme, I imagine, as he just kind of strolls around.
With a drink
That
in his
brings
hand?
up conversation. Coconuts are euphemisms for many things. George likes to talk about many things. This is very classy George.
I guess. I don't know.
You don't have to
I don't know
explain
what to think about
the
that.
theme.
Well, I
can
do
see
have
it
to
as-
explain the theme for
2,
today's
3,
show was
4.
supposed to be your theme, George. You were supposed to come up with a theme,
And text everybody by Monday or Tuesday so we all would know.
I had text you, and nothing. I got nothing. I text you today. I even said, "Are you coming on the show today?" Yes.
He replied.
And I replied right after that. Good. Give us a song so we can think of a song for the show. Nothing. I said to get here a little earlier because we gotta have Troy on only for a little bit.
He just got the text.
When-
Just got
When is the Heat game on?
the Heat game's on at 8:00.
Okay.
So the theme for those that don't know, other than Alan and George and Carlos, is songs that remind of us, George. Did I say that right? No.
Songs that remind us of George.
Yes.
So what was the first one you played?
I don't give a damn.
How can you? I care very much.
And the second one is I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Yeah.
Which you are
which you
apt
do.
to tell us about all the time. Your coconuts and your palm tree.
Oh, the palm tree, yeah, the coconuts. A lot of coconuts there.
So that's the theme for the show. George, I guess you can chip in, man, if you have a song that thinks of yourself. That you think of yourself, you can go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can. That next segment is yours.
Sure, thank you. I'll think about it and let you know.
We're back here at the sports table. Troy Stratford was supposed to be on with us. I just got a text saying he's good, so I guess he wants me to call him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it to you three just to carry the conversation just for a little bit. I'm going to drop a bomb, and then I'll bring on Troy Stratford, Dolphins.
Do we have to?
Dolphins. No, I thought the bomb was actually he was going to the bathroom, but the bomb is the Dolphins, which is about the same thing anyway. But all right, Dolphins, talk. Who's got something to say?
There are.
Did anybody see the press conference? Did you see the
No,
press
No,
conference?
I heard some of it.
I don't need to ruin my day off.
Joe Philbin came out to the press conference looking rather dapper in a nice long sleeve shirt. Got his NFL Combine ID on around his neck on his lanyard, and proceeded to stomp to the stage and to the podium with his little index cards and put them down and attack the mic. Actually was very loud and boisterous and aggressive.
Well,
And I thought that was good because that's completely out of character. It was fake. It was very, very fake. But that was what Don Aponte told him to do and told him to hit these points. So he hits all these points, and when he's done hitting the points, the questions come. And then it was like a transformation. It goes from an aggressive person that's reading points that are given to him to a very humble, quiet, very Joe Philbin. He went back to what he was, answering these questions. I don't know. I can't answer that question. There's still an investigation going on. The owner's going to be talking to Jonathan Martin. I don't know. I can't speak for them. I'll wait for them to finish their comment. But he was very subdued, very quiet, very laid back during that whole time.
in a way, everybody wants him to be fired. But, we need, and maybe he's not the right guy.
No, there's no maybe about it. I can tell you right now, he's not the right guy. And I'm gonna ask Troy when Troy comes on, because Troy's got some conviction. Troy has played for great coaches. He played for a spectacular coach in college at Boston College, and he played for the man down here. So I want to get Troy's honest evaluation on whether he actually has an opinion on Joe Philbin or not.
Speaking of, we are joined now by Troy Stratford. Troy, there?
I'm here.
Troy the man.
It's good to have you on again, man. It's been too long since we've had you last.
Good to be back, fellas.
The Dolphins have gone through an entire season. They've fired a general manager. They're in the midst of this lame controversy since we talked to you last. So just give us an opinion, Troy, right off the top of your head of how did this last season go for you?
Disappointing. It was a roller coaster ride. They were 3-0, then they lost 4 in a row. Then they had the blow up in the middle of the season, and then they disappointed at the end. No effort, no fire, no power. So a very disappointing season.
Hey, Troy.
What are you talking about, Troy? No fire, no power. They lost to the Jets, man. They suck. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. They should not have lost to the sorry Jets.
Well, I'm glad you ended at that point, Troy. This is Carlos. Because my issues are with Joe Philbin. Those last two games were ridiculous, very unprofessional. There were no adjustments made at half, no adjustments made during the game. That team did not look like they were ready to play either of those two games, and I put that squarely on the shoulders of Joe Philbin.
That one there, I think you place blame on everybody, from Joe Philbin to the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then mainly the players. I didn't see any fire out of any of those players coming out of the tunnel and pregame warm-up. Never in the game. When I look back on that game, they seemed like they played that game from the 40-yard line to the 40-yard line, and they couldn't get any closer than that. There was no spark, and I just didn't see it. And I got to put that on the players. Now, I don't know if there's a coach that really gets you ready to go, if there's a pregame speech that really gets you to go. But the Miami Dolphins, the players themselves, should have realized they blew a golden opportunity the week before against Buffalo when they had, the backup quarterback in again, and they got the Jets at home who are playing for nothing.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I spread that blame all around. I really do.
If looking at this team, you played in college for a great college coach. We talked about that the last time I think we had you on. And you played for a great coach here in Miami. Do you see that in Joe Philbin, Troy, from a player's perspective? Do you see that fire or not fire?
That he's a good coach.
But whether or not he is a good coach. One thing is being disciplined and organized and making sure that the locker room is cleaned up and all that crap that was going on early on. But is he really the X's and O's guy that can guide this team? Do you see that?
Well, I had question marks about the offense overall. I didn't like lack of moving the quarterback around. I don't know if that falls on the head coach. At some point he maybe should have seen what I've seen and what a lot of fans have seen, and he should have went to the offensive coordinator maybe and said, we got to change some things around. But I get to see Joe Philbin, kind of behind the scenes a little bit, and I get to see the team practice a little bit more than other people, and they pay attention to detail. Like, I can't, because you play the way you practice, and this team practices like a well-oiled machine, but I don't see the transformation from their practice to the game. And I don't know if that's on the head coach, if that's on the coordinator, or if it's on just having a lack of talent. But I look at Joe Philbin, and I know he has the respect of the guys in the locker room, and I'm not just saying that because the guys are playing for them, because a lot of guys will tell you they love a coach until the coach is fired or until they go to another team. But I like the way he runs everything as a head coach. And when it comes to game day, that head coach needs to make the decisions on 4th and short. Should we kick a field goal? Do we go on? Whatever it is, those small little details. But for the most part, your coordinators run everything. And I'm glad that Sherman is gone, and they have a new guy who comes from a system that I absolutely loved in Philadelphia. Like, I couldn't wait to see Chip Kelly's offense in the National Football League.
Right.
And I saw a great deal of it. Now, question is,
You ain't got the players, though, man.
we don't have Mr. Shady McCoy in the backfield.
Right.
No, we don't. Far from it.
Part of their success up there.
Don't worry, we've got Daniel Thomas.
Yeah, all right.
Troy, you said that this season was a disappointment. I would agree with you with the loss to the Jets, but if it ended up that Jeff Allen was fired, it ended up being a success for me. So I think we have different opinions on that.
Net win.
I wanted to get your thoughts, Troy, on this Richie Incognito, Jonathan Martin. Out of all the positions and out of all the positions on this specific team, this is the lamest, people that all this surrounding the Dolphins could be around. When you hear the information of 1,000 text messages being sent back and forth,
Between
and what
two
was
men.
what was said in between, Troy. I don't even text that much with my girlfriend. 1,000 text messages. That's a crazy amount. Tell me what it is like in the locker room with your teammates.
That is crazy amount of text messages. Like, I save a lot of text messages. Not that I save them. I just don't clean them out until I feel like I need to or whatever. And, me and my girlfriend, we got like 2,300 text messages between ourselves in the last, 5 months or something like that.
Right.
And I looked at the activity that these guys had, and bottom line, Jonathan Martin, he wasn't cut out for this team and this position. I'm not saying that he can't play somewhere else, but he is certainly damaged goods. Did Richie Incognito go overboard? Absolutely he did. When we read what he said, he went overboard. But if you have two guys who believe that they're on the same plane and they're on the same page and they could communicate that way, how in the world is he supposed to know that he went overboard? Because he had no signal, no signs that he went overboard. So there's plenty of blame to go around when it comes to that. But me personally, knowing what I know now, like, I couldn't have Jonathan Martin as my teammate. Richie Incognito, I could have him as my teammate. I would just set his ass straight and say,
keep him in check.
It's so funny, Troy, hearing that opinion, because for the most part, I think maybe not in the football realm, but an overall view of the situation, they look at Jonathan Martin as the victim. And it seems like everyone in football lines up with the bully, quote unquote.
I think he is a victim because he really suffers from this mental issue. So, when you have that and people, even though they didn't know, kind of exploit it, you are a victim. So he is a victim. But, in football, that's what it's about. Like, you need to be tough. You need to, the phrase is man up. Man up.
Come on, Troy.
And
Troy, he's not pushing him to to do an extra squat. He's like threatening his wife or his sister, and saying slurs. Like that's
but these
that's
are
the difference.
these are issues that Jonathan Martin's had in the past, and that was actually shown up in the report also. It's not something that was built up or happened because of what was happening with Pouncey, Incognito, and Jerry. But these are issues that he's had in the past. They just manifested themselves a little bit more now, and he decided to walk away because of things were tough. He was not playing well. He was going to get benched, or he was benched, and everything snowballed at the right time, the perfect storm, and it was easier for him to quit and turn and haul ass than it was to face the music and defend himself.
Hey, Troy, I agree with you. If Incognito was never told where to stop, you cannot tell me that he was past the line or he was bullying the guy or anything like that. If Martin would have come up, it's true. It's true. So he doesn't know.
Wait a minute. That's just a level of human decency. You don't go up to someone and tell them to their face their sister is, for lack of a better way of saying, a squirter, and constantly harp on what you're gonna do to the sister who you've never met. That's general human decency.
Again, at 6'5", 315, I'm gonna light his ass up the first time.
I guess. Well, I tell you, I'll be honest with you. I haven't told my friend about her sister, but I've done a lot of the text. I've said it to friends of mine.
You don't feel bad, Troy, for Jonathan Martin at all?
No.
I feel bad that he
Troy?
suffers from the condition that he suffers from. That's what I feel bad about.
And the heat is what he's
when it comes to
suffering
people saying certain things, you got to be a man and stand up for yourself. It's as simple as you are in a restaurant and some dude like bumps your lady and disrespects her and you know, like, dude, like, hold up, yo, this is my lady. Like, you don't go that far. You need to stand up. And in exchanges with text messages from him and his mom, I believe there's a little exchange there where he talks about someone in the street actually confronted him, and he didn't stand up for himself then, and he was complaining about how, you know, he's a nice guy and he can't stand up for himself. Dude, I'm sorry, you are a man. Someone is going to try and take that parking space during the holiday season that you've been waiting for. They're just going to try and pull in there. You're just going to let them do it? At some point, you got to stand up and hold your ground.
I agree with you.
I don't think that he's ever done that.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Everyone's supposed to know that they went too far.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because when you read it in abstract, of course, it looks like he's really being pushed to the limit. But how does he know that he's being? There's no way for him to know that if you don't tell him, hey, listen, you went beyond the line. You know, you got to stop something. You know.
It sounds to me like if I know you're not saying it outright, but it sounds to me like if you guys are defending Richie Incognito for trying to push this guy, and it's Jonathan Martin's fault for not dealing with it, you know, physically. If the guy decides to walk away, he's not a man.
Hey, I tell you, I don't care what people think. I tell you that in my book, Martin is at fault. In my book.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't even have to be physical. It could just be verbal, like, dude,
yeah.
enough. You crossed the line.
Yeah.
Don't go that far.
Hey, Troy,
and the guy, at that point, he would be like, okay, I went too far. And if he goes beyond that again, it's up to you. You want to
Troy, you've never punked out? Troy, you've never punked out before? You've never backed down, and then after a while, you're like, man, I acted like a bitch there.
Hey, that's why they make baseball bats, man.
No, I never backed down.
Wait a minute.
I was raised that if someone invades your space, and I raised my son the same way. I'm like, dude, if I ever get a call from your school that you got into some type of fight, and I got there and I found out, and you was just like, Dad, the guy put his hands on me, he invaded my space, and I had to do what I had to do, I'm like, you're not in trouble. I said, now, if you're walking around starting stuff and trying to bully people, now I got a problem with you. But my son ain't that big where he's going to be out bullying people. So,
but that's what Richie was doing, man.
You defend yourself.
Well, talking about size, Troy, because you're not the biggest man in the world. I mean, you're what, 5'8", 5'9"?
Hey, man, don't call him out like that.
No, but I'm saying, but it's in a positive way. My point being that regardless of who it was across from you, even if it was 6'4", 6'5", I get the impression from watching you play, even though I've never met you, I've watched you on the field, that wouldn't stop you from stepping to him and say, hey, that's too far.
There's not a game that I've never played in where my size was questioned by someone on the defense, where I was attacked. Like, you know, we're going to take you out, you little MF, you ain't no good, you're too small. And I would just say, I'm going to be here at the end of the game. And I would always, if someone opened their mouth at the end of the game, if we were winning, at the end of the game, I made sure I walked by them and said, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I earned their respect. They go, that's a little tough son of a gun right there. So, yeah, you got to defend yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. Otherwise, people will just absolutely steamroll you.
And we're not talking about just the locker room, man. We're talking in life in general.
Absolutely. I'm talking about going to a restaurant, walking through a mall, at the gas station. It's like, it's crazy that you can't allow people to invade your space. Now, how is he supposed to have a girlfriend? Like, I can recall any girlfriend.
Oh, man, you guys are cutting deep, man.
I'll take his girl.
You guys are cutting deep.
This is real. And I'm sure you guys could say the same thing. If not, something wrong with you guys also. Every girl I've ever been with, at some point in the relationship, they said, I feel safe around you. And I'm a little guy, but they're like, I feel safe around you. And they feel safe around me because I project this confidence of being a man. How could you be with Jonathan Martin and feel safe if you are a female? He can't stand up for himself. How is he going to stand up for you?
I agree.
Well, according to the text messages back and forth, girls don't like Martin because he looks like an AIDS patient, but that's a different thing. Troy, the Wells report comes out. The Dolphins fire their offensive line coach and one of their trainers. Is that enough? Is that enough for you?
The Dolphins have to do something because of how big a story this is. And when you talk about the offensive line coach, well, let's talk about the trainer first. 18 years, highly respected and all of that. Was he supposed to be the whistleblower? I don't know. The Dolphins, I feel the Dolphins had to do something. When it comes to the O-line coach, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Jimmy Turner was my teammate in college. He was my fullback.
Oh, look at that. No, I didn't know.
So I have a good relationship with him. I know him well, and he doesn't mean any harm to anyone. He has a military background. His family has a military background. He's an offensive line coach. I never played for an offensive line coach that didn't get into the face of his offensive lineman, because you need to be tough as nails to be an offensive lineman. That's a tough-ass job to do.
Yep.
And he's just a scapegoat in this situation. I don't care about the little pranks that he did, the blow-up dolls and all of that. That's a coach, relating to his players. From the outside, it does not look good. It does not, and I understand that. But from the inside, there's nothing wrong.
You know what? I just think that there's such a discrepancy between football culture and American society. And the society itself does not understand what happens in a locker room unless you've been in a locker room, whether it's at the high school level, at the college level, or at the pro level even more. But if you haven't experienced that for multiple years and seen what happens in those locker rooms, the things that get said and the demeanor that each of us handle each other with, that's a problem. And I think that disconnect is what creates a lot of the reactions that we've had to this incident.
Carlos, I've been struggling since this story has come out, trying to get people who have not been there to try and understand it, and they can't understand it. They just keep going back to, that's not right, or that's crossing the line. I understand it's not right. I understand it's crossing the line. But the closest I get to it is when I say, okay, take yourself back when you were 22 years old, and you were hanging out with your 3 or 4 buddies, and you guys thought you were, the best thing since bread, and you guys went out, you said what you wanted to say, you talked to each other a certain way, and it was normal for you guys. I've been having a tough time. Yeah. It's so hard to get people to understand that is the culture, and I really don't believe that there's anything wrong with the culture unless someone has an issue like Jonathan Martin. But if you have that issue, somehow, some way, you got to either tell someone, or you got to let other people know that this is a problem.
Correct.
Otherwise, we wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Troy, last question. Again, thanks for coming on with us. Last question before we let you go. Other than winning, because we all know that's not happening.
No.
What does the Dolphins have to do? What do they have to do to alleviate this and make this go away?
Or at least to look better than Cleveland does.
Well, number one, they do have to win. They have to win. They're talking about all of these new conduct codes that's going to take place in the locker room. People are going to watch what they say to a certain degree. You know, Michael Sam, the openly gay player, you cannot open your mouth and crack a gay joke towards him because of the new rules that are going to be put in place. But, man, this is football, and this is just how it is. You're not disrespecting anyone unless they let you know it's disrespectful and you continue to do it. The Miami Dolphins, the only thing that can help them right now is just time, you know. The next guy that gets in trouble, the Ray Rices of the world,
right.
the Darren Sharpers of the world,
yep.
A story that becomes bigger than what their story is, and we start talking about that, and they go through training camp. But the Dolphins are going to deal with this until, you know, they get into like week 2, week 3 of the season, because when training camp starts, there are going to be questions about how's the locker room,
right?
Who's the leader of the locker room? Who's saying it? It's going to be there until they win games, and that's the bottom line. They gotta win football games.
That leadership council for this season that's coming up, whoever those 4 or 5 guys are, they're going to be scrutinized, and they're going to be held to a different standard than most players are.
Oh, absolutely. And they're going to take on this role that is totally different than it has always been.
Correct.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but they're going to need to hold meetings. They're going to need to take notes.
Yep.
You know, they're going to be held accountable. And when really all their job should be is, look, if we're playing bad, call a meeting, just players, and air it out. That's what they're supposed to do. Or, you know, they're just supposed to get you to practice a little bit harder. If you got one of them off days, that's their job. It's going to take on a new meaning.
Well, Troy, thanks again for coming on with us. As Troy Stratford on. Unless you got one more thing.
Yeah, I got one more, Troy.
You always got to follow up, man.
I got to hit you with the last one, Troy. You got Joe Philbin and you got Ryan Tannehill. Who's going to be here in 3 years, and who's going to be the man?
Joe Philbin, Ryan Tannehill. They both won't be here if they don't win next year. How about that?
Okay, I'll take that.
They won't, because this is year 3 for Ryan Tannehill. And I think a player shows his most growth from year 1 to year 2, because you learn so much in the offseason, or your rookie year, you learn so much, and then that second year, you're like leaps and bounds. But when it comes to performance on the field, producing results, if you don't see those results for the most part from year 2 to year 3, it's time to go get another quarterback. And when it comes to Joe Philbin, if you put up another stinker, the Dolphins fans and ownership is not going to have that type of patience.
Hey, big guy, all that means is we're starting over again next year.
I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope not too. But I don't see this team winning more than eight games.
We don't even know. We don't even know if any of the offensive. Well, that's a long time from now. Troy, thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, man, you're the best, Troy. Thank you.
You got it, man. Have a good time.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
You were the best, man. That was a little bit. That was a little warm at the end right there.
I like Troy, man. I enjoy having him. I love his opinions. I think he's
when
opinionated, but he's a quintessential athlete giving you his point of view.
Right.
He's not sugarcoating it. He's not politically correctness on it. He's just telling you the way it is. And that's a point that we went back and forth and we bantered back and forth on it, you know, when this first started. That's the locker room. I don't care who says what. Whether it should be or not is irrelevant, but that's the locker room.
There's a few things that we got to hit on about what Troy said and just our own opinions on the Dolphins. So we'll go to break and we'll come back and we'll cover more of this.
You guys are just a bunch of retards. You're sucking each other's cocks. You're throwing out your small dicks.
all I did was type in "you're a retard" and that's what came on. I feel like this is Richie Incognito's ringtone. Everybody.
Jonathan's calling me. Let's talk about his sister ruining my bed sheets.
Hello, Richie.
Hey, I'm gonna wear your sister like a punching glove on my right hand.
Richie, you're crossing the line, please.
I'm gonna cross her line. I got a question for you.
Get the question.
Do you think men and women have roles in society?
I feel that the roles were more defined, I want to say like 20 years ago. I think roles are flipping and roles are converging. But yes, I still feel like there should be some type of roles in the household, yes.
No, not in the that's not what I asked.
Oh, you mean in
I'm
society?
saying society, period.
You gotta be more specific than that. Like, are you talking about leading? Are you talking about jobs? Or I mean, I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Let's take it back to the house.
Back to the house?
That's simpler than what I wanted to ask.
Yes.
Do you think a woman and a man have roles in the house?
I feel that again, that they're molding and they're mixing, and there are men that stay at home. That's more acceptable than it used to be, and there are women that make more money than the man, and that's more acceptable. But yes, I still feel that there should be roles. Yeah.
Really? Like what?
I still feel that mothers, it's internally they have a mother instinct. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sexist pig.
No. So that when it comes to their kids, they'll go above and beyond more than a man would. So the motherly role would be there more.
Okay.
Hey, he just called the two of you out, you two fathers.
I would still feel that a man should be the head of the household.
In what sense?
In regards to major decisions, in regards to just running the house. I mean, you would know more about that than I would. But
what car they buy, how much money they spend on the car.
I mean, it's always a joint decision, but the man takes the lead. That's the way that I feel, and I'm basing most of this on House of Cards and Frank Underwood, because that man runs his household, and that's how I want my household to be.
So if a guy comes into your house,
who's going to protect the house?
Who's going to protect
your
the
wife
house?
or you?
No, the man.
Whoever grabs the knife first.
Say it again?
The man.
Really?
A knife? You bring a knife to a gunfight?
Hey, look,
the guy,
my goal is to have a woman who's trained in stealth killing. Good to protect the house.
That's true.
Along
That's
with
true.
me and my giant sword.
Can you imagine Mrs. Alan Yanes just running?
There's a sword in every room. All right. As far as I'm concerned, I get married, my woman, we're gonna fund
We're going
an
to
entire
you up
arsenal.
like the strongest woman in the world.
You know what? That wouldn't be bad.
Jeff Mangle's
just
sister.
Just the big.
Jeff Mangle's sister.
Up.
Is it
Rub belly.
Hey, I'm not against the big back ride, bro.
Hey, isn't it Jeff Mangle?
No, Nick Mangle.
Nick Mangle, his sister.
His sister Jeff, Farina.
Jeff, yeah, she's big.
She's a weightlifter,
Look
an
her up.
Olympic weightlifter.
Look her up.
Nah, that's too much testosterone, man.
Look up Nick Mangle's sister.
Welcome back to the Sports Table, everybody. We had a heated debate off mic, and I always hate having those debates because off mic, that is, because
second one on Google.
That's when
Nick Mangle's sister.
Yeah, that's when
look at images.
You know, some of the good stuff happens. So I always try to catch us up on mic. I'm gonna try to reignite.
She's not. Nobody's breaking into your house.
She's so much a better offensive lineman than anything the Dolphins have. Wow!
She's an Olympic lifter.
Yeah, Olympic weightlifter.
Yeah.
She's strong, Alan. Nobody would ever.
Bruce.
That's a big bitch.
She's.
I would cower in the corner like Jonathan Martin. I would never leave.
It's one of those things where you come out of fear.
Or else. Or you better or else.
Come here, sweetie. Oh, God.
I'm done.
Sorry. It's like Chappelle. Come in my face, motherfucker.
That is a huge bitch.
Yeah, she's a big girl, man.
Well, we were talking off mic about, you know, a little bit of what Troy Stratford said, and we got into the debate. How did we get there? We got into the debate on the only thing that not the only thing, but the main thing I was disagreeing upon with what Troy Stratford and a little bit what you guys were saying was I cannot buy into the concept of Jonathan Martin is less of a man than Richie Incognito or any other football player because he walked.
I don't think he's less of a man than Richie Incognito. I think that he did not display the manhood that he should display as an
See,
NFL player.
who determines should? Like, how can you determine what a man should be or shouldn't
when
be?
somebody takes your things?
He didn't take his. I mean, he took his money in dues, but it wasn't.
The only thing that
he took his profession.
It wasn't. No, he didn't take his profession. He walked away from it. There's a difference.
No, but he walked away because he was scared to confront, or he wouldn't confront.
But it wasn't. It wasn't
The
just.
only thing Incognito didn't take away from Martin was his bunghole. That was the only thing left.
He took it all.
Lovely bunch of coconuts. La 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 la.
He never stepped in and said, "Richie, stop." It's got to stop, Rich.
He didn't say that. I'm not saying Jonathan Martin's right. I'm not saying he's right.
Yeah, that's not the
The
point.
only thing that I'm saying is that it's hard for me to say this guy's less of a man than the rest of us.
He is. He's less than a man than I am.
See, for me, I can't say that. I can't say that. I cannot say that. Why? Because I said off air. You know what makes a person less of a man? A guy that beats his wife or leaves his family, abuses his kids. Those are not men. Pedophiles. Those are not men. Those are not men. They're lesser than
I
that.
agree with you.
Jonathan Martin is not in that class. He's not less of a man.
Yes, he is.
Well, he may not be.
He's not in the same class as a pedophile, but
he's a step above.
A man.
Oof, thank God you saved that one.
No, but he said he's step above. That's
step
not.
above.
That's the same thing.
He is.
No, it's not the same thing.
No,
it's not the same thing. He's definitely a step above. The point is, you got to stand up for yourself everywhere, across the board, no matter where you're at. You know
who he's more than a man of? You know who he's more than a man of? Darren Sharper.
Yes, I agree with you.
Darren Sharper is less of a man than Jonathan Martin.
I agree with you.
Today.
I mean, today.
Because of what
apparently
it's
all.
been
going on for a while.
Yeah.
Right, what he's been doing for the last 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Yeah. And more of a man
And
than what Ray Rice.
why aren't people killing Darren Sharper for that? And they're killing Jonathan Martin because he didn't want to play football anymore.
No, culture. You can't turn your back and walk away and not when you're perceived.
But this man,
hold on. As a physical man, genetically a man, if you're perceived and you're 6'5" and you're 315. Now, had Jonathan Martin been the punter, not in the Dolphins' case because Fields is huge, but a real punter at 6'1", 210. That's a different story.
No,
now
it's
he
not.
would. You had
the whole thing with Troy Stratford.
Wait. I agree with him. There's a part of it where you're seeing that body,
right,
and we're projecting expectations. And when they're not met, we're unsatisfied and we're envious and angry. And I agree completely with Carlos.
The fact that he's 6'5", 315. You expect him to step to a man that's 6'4", 6'5", 300 and say, stop.
I don't.
See, I agree with George. I don't either. If Troy, you just complimented Troy Stratford saying how no, you're a short guy. No matter how short you are, no one's gonna mess with you because you're tough.
I said perception. The perception, not in reality. Because at 6 feet 195, I'm gonna step to anybody and do what I gotta do or say to stop something from happening.
I would, with my little buddy, I would get in a fight with Incognito in the locker room.
Wait, what's your little buddy?
With my big penis. I would have gotten in a fight with him in the locker
room.
He would have gotten my butt kicked, and I would have waited for him in the parking lot behind a car with a baseball bat.
And got your butt kicked again.
Okay, so the option is not get your ass kicked and go to jail instead.
No.
That's a great option, George.
Listen, I remember we had this conversation 3 or 4 months ago. You know what? You go, you fight, you get your butt kicked. I'll drag your ass over there. You'll kick my butt again. I'll go tomorrow. You'll kick my butt again. And you're going to kick my ass for a week or a month.
Let me ask
but
you
you're going to know that I'm not going to allow you to punk me.
Let me ask you this. No. Let me ask him this. Okay.
I like the baseball bat better.
Yeah, that resolves it quicker.
If you're a pacifist, if you're a Shaolin monk, or you believe in Buddha, or you have, if you're spiritual and you're always passive, when it comes to conflict, you do not want it all. Are
Correct.
all an entire religion, an entire nation, Nepal, are all of them less of men than you because they would refuse to fight and you guys would?
No, they're.
But that's what you're saying.
No, but they're not going. They're not gonna complain. They're gonna move on. They're gonna ignore it and just keep going.
But
they're gonna be strong enough mentally to just not to stay there and do what they got. You cannot talk a monk, no matter how much you talk to him, out of leaving his monastery. He's not leaving.
Not only that, a monk probably gone on and said, "Listen, this bothers me."
Right. Based on my teachings, based on my beliefs, based on my God, this is wrong. You need to stop this.
I agree with that. My point is, you guys are saying because if Jonathan Martin would have gotten his ass kicked, he would have been more of a man. But if it's a Shaolin monk that does the same thing and walks away, Jonathan Martin wouldn't be compared to him. It's a different. You're giving him a different perspective, I guess, because he's taller and he's a football player. But the premise of walking away and not fighting doesn't make you less of a man.
Where is the line?
There is no line.
No?
There is no line. If anyone decides to actively choose against violence, then that doesn't make them less of a man.
So there is no line.
I don't see where there could be a line in that.
Okay.
Where could there be a line in if Allen gets into a fight verbally, it's less of a man than if he swings and hits the guy.
No, but you're twisting it because I don't think we've said that. I haven't said that he has to physically fight to be a man. I said he's got to step to him and put a stop to it. It doesn't mean you got to physically do it, but you got to speak your mind and say, this is not right. I do not accept
it's
this.
It's just hard to hear that when you guys
Chris,
keep saying,
hey, Chris,
if I go into the back and I'll fight, and then I'll see you in the back and then I'll fight again.
That would have done.
That's a personal thing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why?
Why
didn't he go to? If he's a pacifist and he doesn't want to fight, if he's sure of himself, he would have gone. At the very least, he would have said something to Incognito, saying, "Listen, stop, whatever." Okay. If not, he would have gone to the whoever's in charge and say, "Listen,
no,
I've already talked to Incognito to stop, and he keeps doing this. I want you guys."
All right. Go. In what is becoming a culture amongst athletes, where snitches get stitches, bro.
So
there's no way you could ever supersede your area.
You were coming with that. I knew you were coming with that.
There's a baseball bat.
George Stradamus.
There's a baseball bat.
Well, that's a solution for everything.
Wait, do you have one in every room by chance?
No.
Have you named them?
Just in my room in a golf club.
And his dick.
If he's a pacifist, okay.
Into the mic.
If he's a pacifist, he would at the very least say something to Incognito, and then if he doesn't react, and he is a pacifist, the right thing to do. How much abuse can you take as a person? Never mind women, man, homosexual, whatever. How much abuse can you physically take or can you mentally take from another person before you complain to somebody? Not fight, not curse, not anything, just complain. I believe that he did this because I believe he's messed up in the head, once. I believe that he did not want to play football anymore, 2, and he wanted to get his money, 3. That's what I believe Martin did.
And I think number 2, not play football anymore, had a lot to do with the fact that they have brought somebody else in. They have moved his position. He was not playing very well. He was frustrated, and everything else was piling on top of him. And he said, it's easier to turn and run than it is to stay and fight. Fight physically or fight emotionally or fight verbally, but it's easier just to leave.
All right, so cutters of his manhood. What would happen if you find out in the next couple of weeks that he actually has a chemical imbalance that lends himself toward depression? Because we already heard that he headed there.
Richie Incognito blasted him on Twitter saying that he tried to kill himself.
Very sensitive friend, Richie Incognito.
What should have happened here if Philbin had any intelligence and he knew what the hell he was doing, because Philbin's son committed suicide or died or whatever the hell happened to him right before he became a Dolphin coach. So he's got to have some sensitivity and some understanding to somebody with mental illness. So why wouldn't he have addressed this much more effectively and much
I don't
more
think he knew what was going on.
Well, one of the things
if you talk to all these NFL guys, they'll tell you the same thing. The coaches never go to the locker room.
Yeah,
the locker room is policed and patrolled by the players.
Right. But if you as a head coach, you don't have players that respect you enough, trainers that respect you enough, assistant coaches that respect you enough, towel boys that respect you enough to walk to you and say, Coach, there's a problem in that locker room with the offensive lineman. You need to step to it. At the end of the day, there's no question that other people knew about it. It was not just a 2 or 3 man thing. 15, 20 people were aware of what was going on. Nobody found it. Okay. Either way, whether they did or didn't, I think it's more of an indictment of Philbin if nobody went and told him. That means nobody really respects.
Well,
him.
the thing is that
Yeah.
he seemed to know enough to ask Turner about it.
Yeah.
So
he knew something.
He knew something. He must have heard something along the way.
And if you know that, then you need to deal with those issues, man. I got
The
problems.
conversation turned to
Yeah, it
something
did.
that
It did. It turned to Philbin.
Let's
It's over
no. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the Wells report. Have you guys seen the Wells report?
Yeah, I've read most of it.
The who's report?
The guy that wrote the report on all this stuff. Was that a zinger? It's got.
No. The screen turned off on my laptop.
Oh.
When I swiped it, the first thing I see is Mangold's sister lifting like 500 pounds. Scared me a little bit.
With one arm.
There's a few things. That.
By the way, Wells is a liberal pacifist. He is absolutely.
When
you read the way he wrote it, and you can tell who he is.
Well, there's a few things that I want to ask. What stuck out with you guys? The first thing, the most alarming thing that I saw, and we talked a little bit about it with Troy, was the text messages with Jonathan Martin and his parents. You cannot help but feel for the guy when you read those text messages. Am I wrong in saying that?
Maybe you.
You can't help
No,
but feel.
I'm with you because it's someone who's realizing that
It's like raw emotion.
It's
Whether
as
you
if,
agree with it or not, it's raw emotion.
to me, it's as if he realized nowhere along the way was he ever set up to be equipped, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's reaching for help. There's no real help for him. Now the answer is start looking at yourself. Start developing some form of courage, something. But he's reaching out to the only people he confides in, his parents.
Look, if in 2 weeks he comes out that he has some kind of brain imbalance, pendejita aguda.
His face is like blah,
whatever
blah.
pendejita aguda imbalance he has, okay? Whatever he has, he comes out, and I would be okay with it. I tell you guys again, you guys went to a white private school.
But okay.
White's pushing it.
Well, okay, Cuban.
A Cuban private.
Okay, Cuban, whatever.
And I had a Jamaican in my class.
Okay, I'm sure that Jamaica. Anyways,
yeah.
To what point? I don't think it has got nothing to do with your environment. If somebody's going to rape you in the butt, you're going to react.
Good God.
But that's what it comes down to.
But that's not what this is, Theo.
Well, let me ask you.
Never mind.
How much further would it have had to go for Martin to react, to step and say stop?
It couldn't have gone any further.
I'm
Martin's
guessing.
path,
What do you mean? It could have
because
No, that Martin can take more. It couldn't have happened. Martin reached his limit.
From what I heard, someone in the lunchroom that day told him, "Hey,
are you okay with this?" Right.
You need to do something about this. And his reaction was after they got up and left him to just leave. To be like, you know what? Fuck this.
Right.
And look at the small, minuscule, insignificant thing that triggered his walkout.
Yeah.
No, but that's like
of all the things they did to him. Look at the small, and of course that was the cherry on top.
Yes.
That was.
Come on.
But look at how insignificant it was.
But isn't that always the case whenever you fight with your girlfriend?
Yeah. It's the
you
little
know
thing.
you leave the ball in your sink and that's when she blows up on you.
Right.
I'm not gonna blame the guy for that. But I want to talk about the Wolves report. So there was nothing that stuck out for you guys. The thing that stuck out for me the most was those text messages back and forth between him and his parents. He was telling them, he's like, I wasn't raised to defend myself. You know, that's raw emotion. You can't look away from that and blame him.
No, but his in that text message with his dad, I'm trying to find it because I wrote it down, where his dad actually told him that he needed to step up,
right?
And if he needed to throw a punch, or he was talking about, when he was young, he had issues, and he had to physically get involved after verbally getting involved, and that was pretty much a green light. Go, Jonathan, defend yourself, man. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't work. It didn't work.
So that was it for you also?
Yeah. I think that was the most emotional thing, because again, the text between the two players or the three players, that to me had really no effect. I've heard that kind of language.
Right.
I understand that kind of language. I understand the context in which it was meant, not the context in which I read it. Totally different game. When you're saying it in a different setting,
in a vacuum.
If you're saying it in a locker room, if you're saying it at a strip joint, if you're saying it at a party when you're drinking, it's not the same thing as if you read it in the newspaper
in a vacuum.
In a vacuum, like George says. I think it makes a difference.
For me, it was two things. One, the fine book. that they had this running book of
Every
arbitrary
single
fines.
major league team,
I'm sure they all
baseball have the kangaroo courts, and they get fined for all sorts of stupid
all right.
things.
Another reason I want baseball fucking abolished to the seventh ring of hell.
Are they having
Kangaroo
football too?
court, kiss my ass with that shit.
I bet you. I don't know this, and there's no way for me to prove it, but I guarantee you that there were a lot of fine books burned in the last 3 or 4 months.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
On all these teams,
Hey,
all that stuff went away, and people started deleting texts.
What do we say off air? No one really wants to know what's happening in football.
Absolutely.
Same thing with the bounties.
Yeah.
No one wants to know that everybody's putting up bounties.
Absolutely.
So it was the fine book. It was kind of the stupid stuff. Lebertar brought up a lot of the like $10 fart fines, and Claybo got fined for having gray hair. Useless shit.
It's just meathead stuff.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
useless
That's what
shit.
it is. It's like I wrote in my blog. It's men being boys. It's men being boys.
There was a couple other things that jumped out at me. Wells basically called Pouncey and Turner liars.
Yes.
He basically did. He said
surprised?
that they were not forthcoming. No, I'm not surprised that he called them that. I'm not surprised that they lied.
No, I'm not surprised that Pouncey lied because we're going to find out in a couple of months when he goes to jail that he's a freaking. He's a big.
Also
time.
in the fine book, it was like $100 for Pouncey getting subpoenaed.
Yeah.
This
It's
guy.
the same fine that Martin got every week for being a pussy.
Yeah.
Also part of the fine book.
So that jumped out. Pouncey's involvement, John Jerry's involvement. To
Oh my
me.
God, I had no idea.
Didn't that I was like, say what again? Say what again?
What was it I said to you
no,
on
what
text?
you said on your blog was great, but what did you what text?
I think he sent me a thing about it. I'm like, he's not good enough to be involved in this biker gang.
Right.
Like I think he fucking sucks. Why is he involved? Why?
Do you remember what you wrote in your blog?
I'll pull it up here. Go ahead, keep talking.
What he said specifically was hilarious, just like what you said.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine. Like, I could imagine if McKinney was involved. McKinney's solid. I could imagine people who are good. But John Jerry's like one step above Claybo as far as I'm concerned. He's not any good. Like what? Why do you get to pick on anyone?
Right. And then the other thing is, as Carlos is looking up his blog, which we have to promote, management obviously had an issue on their hands and they didn't deal with it properly. Not before this happened, establishing a good culture, good enough culture. Not during this, all this stuff, and since then. Now they fired two guys, the trainer and their offensive line coach. What was it, yesterday or today? And I get that. But for me, it's like the obvious move. That's the obvious move.
What have the Dolphins been doing for 15 years?
Right.
Well, again,
the obvious move.
Again, I think the problem with the Dolphins is they're trying to start anew. They're putting a new fresh paint and coat on the building, but they're starting all this again with the same people. I mean, it's like painting the outside of the building without pressure cleaning it. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
You know what we can do? If we put like plastic on top of that decapitated building,
it'll look new.
Yeah, people will buy it, and then when it falls on them,
Did you find what you wrote?
Yeah, I found the blog, and the title of the blog is Incognito, Pouncey, Jerry, and Martin, aka Foreplay.
No, I know, but what you specifically wrote about John Jerry?
I started the blog by saying, first things first. I thought that the scrubs were the ones who got bullied. Who the hell gave John Jerry the green light to bully or attempt to bully anyone outside of a third-string youth football player who struggles making weight? But I digress.
That's exactly.
Dude,
when I
like
read that, I was laughing out loud. That was funny.
I tell you what, that's not the way it was originally written. I originally wrote it the same way, but I had a third-string handicapped youth football player.
Oh God!
And your aunt read it and said, "You have to exit that." And I got mad. I got mad at her, and I said, it's supposed to be for humor." She goes, "You can't play like that." I said, "You didn't hear my PSA."
Yeah, that's true. Is that enough for you guys? I'm asking George so he could, join on the conversation. Is that enough? What are the Dolphins? Like I asked Troy, is Philbin's job in jeopardy? Is Pouncey back? What do the Dolphins have to do? Have they done enough already? Is there anything that they can do?
Is this a personal question or is this an overall
Can
question?
we
come on?
Can we
now.
trade the
personal
entire
question?
organization away?
In a personal, I would like to see Joe Philbin gone. I'd like to see Pouncey traded or released. You can't release him because he's valuable, but you trade him, try to get a 4th or a 5th round pick for him or something like that, and move on. Listen, the offensive line sucked with a capital S with him. They cannot get any worse without him. We can do without Mike Pouncey. He's trouble. The guy is a poor decision maker.
Forget we can do. Forget we can do without
we
him.
don't need him.
I didn't even realize he was fucking gone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The offensive line got better when all these people disappeared.
Yeah, Mike Pouncey is a non-entity, non-issue. He's not an impact player. He doesn't make a difference on this particular.
Another
football
first
team
round
right
pick, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So Mike Pouncey at the point when we needed defensive backs and
That's
wide
fine.
receivers,
That's fine.
we
You
put
know
Pouncey.
what that means this year? Offensive line draft. Woo!
You know what?
Have they done enough for you, Jorge?
I hope they draft 7 offensive linemen.
I don't want to talk draft with the Dolphins down. By the way, completely shocked. I saw what our general manager looks like for the first time today.
Yeah, he looks like that guy.
He's got like
on
this.
ESPN. Yes, the baseball guy. Not Jeremy Schaap, but the other guy.
I don't know. He's
Kirchin. He looks like Kirchin.
just because of the gray hair.
Yeah,
He reminds me more of the guy from American Idol, that salt and pepper guy that won. But
okay.
I saw him for the first time. I'm like, that's our general manager. And why I reacted like that, I don't know, because I have no connotations of him at all. But that's what I said. Theo George, so I can hear your beautiful voice. Is there anything else that the Dolphins can do?
I'll be honest with you. I can care one iota if they keep Pouncey. I don't think he's a good guy, a good person.
I agree.
Okay? Aside football. Forget about football.
I agree.
Whether he's that good or that bad, I mean, he's the guy that gets selected to Pro Bowls. And what do I know about offensive linemen?
Right.
1. 2, I don't want Philman to be fired.
Who?
Philbin.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want him to be fired because we need some kind of continuity in the team, because we keep changing coaches and it's no good. It's no good for us. You see a good coach, you see a bad coach. The same thing with Tannehill. You see a good quarterback, you see a bad quarterback. Who the hell knows? Would I have done things the same way Philman did? No, I would not let my freaking kid get killed against Buffalo and not roll him out. I would yell at anybody, but that's the way I feel.
Well,
I don't think he should get fired.
Again, my problem, and Troy made comments that it's not really his fault when there's offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, other coaches. I didn't hire any of those coaches. Philbin hired them all. Mm-hmm. They all work for Philbin. Philbin's contract says that he is in control of the staff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He fires and hires them, not Ross. So at the end of the day, if my offensive coordinator is not doing what I want him to do, you're gone. I'm going to step in. I'm supposed to be the brain of this thing.
I'm sure Philman never called it whatever his name was and tell him, hey, listen, the kid is getting killed.
Of course
Roll him
not.
out.
That's his boy. They went to school. That was his mentor.
No.
That's the guy that got him
What I'm
started.
saying is, and I mean, I know you keep making the case for Philman and to get fired, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is that he doesn't really, to me, and I may be wrong, and you may be wrong. I don't know if maybe he did call him and say.
I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
No, I'm never wrong. Well, only once, but I found out afterwards.
Internet's more wrong.
Let's go to break.
Welcome back to the Sports Table, everybody. That's how I feel with this music in the background.
Yeah, that's what it
This is
sounds
the
like.
Entertainment Tonight song, by the way, if you didn't know. Alan, do you watch Entertainment Tonight?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Welcome back
What
to
a stupid question is that?
welcome
You
back.
can't get me to watch good TV shows by your standard.
Unless they
Why would I
have-
watch Entertainment Tonight?
I don't know. Maybe you're a gossip guy.
Unless they have
Okay.
Japanese animated porn on there, he's not watching it.
Good God, man. Welcome back to the Sports Table. I'm Chris, and Theo George is smoking a cigarette, and we're going to hear him scream when he walks into the studio. But I got Theo Carlos to my left,
I'm here.
Alan to my right, and a much-anticipated guest is joining the show.
Man, we've been talking about you all show
my
long.
my good friend from work. He has points of views and just charisma that is unparalleled. Mike Gretsch joins the Sports Table for the first time.
Mike, that's not the reason I want to talk to you.
Okay.
He's just been harping on how attractive your girlfriend is. I'm going to ask you straight out just to show me a picture, man. Pull out your phone and show me a picture, bro.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I want to see a picture. There you go. You got your phone.
Look
Pull it
at
out.
this, Mike. You
Show me.
don't have to do that,
Yes,
Mike.
you do, Mike. You have to do it.
He's not a bully.
Talking about that?
No, man. We're not. That was never mentioned, man.
It's recorded, man. We can play the
We
recording.
never. No, it wasn't recorded.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, you lucky bastard.
All right, Mike is joining us because he has. By the way, this is the Rush Limbaugh of our show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's what they say.
Oh, okay.
it's not what they say; it's what's known.
Okay, now.
And Mike is. He's got different points of view, that are just hilarious. For me, I mean, sometimes when I go in there, I'll just say, like, for instance, I talked Lil Wayne. I just mentioned Lil Wayne, and then Mike, just brands Lil Wayne for about what he is. I'm a myth.
Can we please avoid goblins on our show?
I wanted to ask Mike, all this stuff with Kanye West. Did you hear about that he punched some kid in the face?
No, I don't know about this.
You didn't know about this?
I have no idea what you're talking
Do you know about his religion?
Yeah, I heard. Well, I think you told me. About the
Yeah.
religion.
Into the mic, man.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, he told me about the religion, but I haven't heard about him punching anybody.
He punched the kid in the face basically because they called Kim Kardashian the N-word lover.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he
Okay.
he basically punched him in the face, and he's already on trial for another assault or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So
Things aren't looking good.
I just wanted to ask you, when you
Okay.
see not athletes, when you see actors and entertainers constantly doing that kind of things, and
Or
then-
people like Kanye West.
Right.
and then
yeah.
but
Justin
then
Bieber.
they're super successful, like they're untouchable. Like he was selling his shirt for how much, that white T-shirt, just a T-shirt like this.
Wasn't it like I want to say
hip-hop
like
shirt, the hip-hop
$500?
shirt.
Yeah,
$500. All
the
right.
$500 white tee that you buy at Kmart.
Right. When you see that kind of stuff, I mean, how angry do you get when you see it? Because I get angry.
You know what? I get angry, but I kind of understand where people are coming from.
I told you.
Yeah, man, I stole your.
I told you, man. I told you.
Hey.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Jonathan. You took your seat, bro. Defend yourself, bro. See, at least he said something. Unlike Jonathan Martin.
And right away.
Jonathan Martin just sits and shut up.
No, with something like Kanye West, that's a whole different situation. I mean,
He's just.
I think that he already has his ego blown up way too much to begin with. So I think that he's in a category of his own to begin with. So
Right.
anything he gets, I think he deserves. Quite
No,
frankly.
but when you see Justin Bieber,
He's another one.
He got in trouble.
Canadian terrorist.
Yeah, he peed into, what was it recently? He peed into another sink or something. Recently, it's what I heard. I don't know.
I think actually he's here in Miami, right?
Yeah,
I heard
yeah.
The report a minute ago.
It was-
Justin Bieber's another one, man. These people are These people are, overprivileged. They think they can do whatever they want. No, they do. They run around thinking they're God. But the reality is, I think eventually everything comes to a head, and they'll get what they.
They'll get what they're coming.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You're big into karma. You're
Hey,
big into
Yeah, I
karma.
am big into karma, right? I'm really spiritual.
Hey, correction on my previous point. The white T-shirt made of Egyptian cotton,
Oh, that's what it was.
$120. I apologize for the
You
misinformation.
damn bastard.
Did you? All right, on the punching the kid one, I felt a little sick, not because he punched the kid, because I kind of agreed with Kanye. You ever have that happen to you? Where one of them does something and you're like, oh my god, I agree with him. Oh
You know
no.
what? I actually do agree with him, though. I mean, that's totally disrespectful, no matter who you are. So that kid, that's the exception right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's pushing it. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a human being. If that was you, what would you do if somebody came up to you and?
I don't know if I'd strike the
it's
kid
not
in the
same
face. You know what it
situation,
was? I would
obviously,
walk
but-
away because I'm less of a man, so I'd walk away from the
Oh,
situation.
You would walk away?
I would
let,
t- I
let
would
me
talk.
interrupt you right there. The answer is to get a baseball bat.
I would open my wallet, show him my black American Express, and smile.
Oh, all right.
Well, you're the kind of guy that tell them the fight that you got with the guy at the gas station.
Oh,
Tell them that fight, please. That's one of my favorite, because I know Gretchen has awesome fight stories. We all do. Let's get into some fight stories. Tell them that one.
I don't remember all the particulars. I just know that I got to the gas pump and I pulled in my truck and I was gonna fill up, and in the process while I was there, I was texting before I got out of the truck. And then there's this guy that's leaving Lexus, dropping off some cars, and he's got like a pickup truck with an extension on the back where he's got like 4 or 5 cars mounted. And I guess he wants to get on the outside pump where I'm at so he can be more comfortable. And I'm sitting there doing what I got to do, and he's honking the horn. And I look up, and I continue texting. And boy, he's getting.
Pumping gas?
No, I'm just texting.
You haven't got the car yet.
I'm not pumping gas yet. I haven't got out yet. I'm still in the car.
Taking up space.
And then I'm texting around, and he honks again, and I look up, and I say, "What?" and he starts shouting, get out of the way, do something, either pump gas or.
Right.
And I said, I'm on the phone. I was here first. When I'm done, you can park. Otherwise, go over there. And he gets out of the truck. He parks his car there. He's like 4'4", man, little guy, man. And I get out of my truck. I get my pump, and he's still yapping. I said, listen here, little man. You go and do what you got to do. Stay with your little part-time job, driving your truck around. And leave me alone, man.
No.
So he wasn't happy about that. In hindsight, it wasn't really a great thing because he might have had a weapon and he was little. He might have pulled his weapon out to use it.
Right.
So in hindsight, it wasn't a great deal. But I kind of egged him on. And
Dude, I mean, with these stand your ground laws, that guy could have just shot you and be like, hey, he threatened me.
He threatened me. Yeah, that's true. That's why I carry my weapon now everywhere I go.
Oh. But was there empty spaces, or was he just being?
No, see, it was the outside lane. He wanted the outside lane so he can pump gas and then just go from there, exit the gas station. He didn't want to get into the other 4 lanes where he had, he wanted to be comfortable. Yeah, he wanted to be a bitch. He wanted to make me uncomfortable so he could be comfortable. And I said, I'm not going to go for that. Right. I'm not Jonathan Martin.
See, there's certain etiquette. There has to be etiquette in places like that. Like parking lots is one of them.
Correct.
A lot of stuff. It has to do with driving most of the time. Most of the angles that I'm ever been is road rage. What?
Not in this city, homeboy.
I like to get there first. When I get there first, you need to wait for me.
What do you mean in this city?
Not in this city. There's no etiquette in Miami.
Come on.
Bro.
Look at Chris.
Into the mic. Bro. Dude, you got to talk into the mic, Gretchen. Tell him what he has to say about Miami. Cause
I have a lot to say about this, but I don't have a microphone.
Oh, man. I stole the microphone.
You can talk the whole show, and now when you don't have a mic, that's when you decide to talk, right?
Now that he can, he wants to.
I know. Look at that.
Don't worry, George. You got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Miami, dude.
Well, you already know how I feel about Miami. I think I feel about Miami the same way you feel about New York. So you already know.
He hates it. I mean, explain because
I don't hate Miami. I'm born.
You
and raised
hate
in
Miami. You told me.
I'm born and raised in Miami. I have respect for Miami, but
you have no respect for Miami.
I do have respect.
Look
for
at you putting on a front right now with the microphone on.
Man, you call me a socialist. I hate Miami. He has nothing but negative things to say about me.
It's not negative for you. That's exactly what you are, man.
You're a fucking socialist?
No, I'm not a socialist.
Wait,
don't listen to this
guy.
He
is. Yes, he is.
Wait, do you support North Korea?
No. Don't listen to him. And I don't hate Miami. I love Miami.
That's okay to hate Miami. I hate Miami.
Well, at least you're completely honest.
I've been here my whole life, and I hate this place.
Oh, man. Why didn't you leave, man?
I got 3 kids and a wife.
Oh, you're stuck.
And they like their cousins and others.
All right, so that's what
Carlos,
it is.
be honest. It's croquetas en Materva.
The croquetas keep me here, too. But I can always have them shipped, but that's not
the same.
We've all gone into like little confrontations like that. Gretchen, can you please tell them the story of when you went to Publix recently?
Oh, what do you mean with that, man?
Come on, say the
that
story.
Wasn't even that bad of a conflict.
You have worse conflicts than that?
Well, I mean, I didn't go crazy on this lady. What are you talking about? I was just at Publix, and I didn't take one of the tickets. Apparently, you need to take tickets to get those sandwiches now.
Yeah, for the deli.
Yeah, I thought it was just the deli where you get the carvings where you need the ticket.
Right.
So the lady decided to take everybody and make them go around me one after another. So at first I was starting to get loud, but then I didn't want to make a scene. So instead, I went over and got the store manager and brought him over. And then in the process, I guess the other people got pretty pissed off too at me. So then they got involved, and this Jamaican lady, and I'm Jamaican, so I can say that. She was like, I can't believe you got the store manager. It's just a sandwich. Whatever.
I love the accent.
Yeah. So that turned into something there. So then we start going back and forth. But I don't think it was that bad of a conflict. I mean, if it happened to you, wouldn't you?
No, I mean, yeah. I don't know if I would do that. I'd probably again just walk away.
Yeah, I mean,
Jonathan.
I
think we need to change his name to Jonathan.
Well, that's the thing. That's Gretchen brings up a good point. Gretchen's Jamaican. He doesn't look Jamaican, but he's Jamaican, and he's Jamaican.
Which means right off the bat, he's a badass.
Oh, yeah, right.
Can I ask you a question? Why does he look Jamaican?
Thank you.
Gretchen, from your own mouth.
Yes, come on, say it,
you
man.
said from your own mouth
say
you don't
it.
look Jamaican, man.
Why not? Why not, man?
Well, who was it? Oh, no, you said one of your friends that when they talked about Jamaicans that they were always the white Chinese people?
No, it was a white, blonde-haired,
all the
blue
white.
eyes.
Yeah. So
but
I get it.
He wasn't my friend, it was me.
Oh, that you said that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
When I was maybe 16 years old, and I got
Right.
a part-time job.
Yeah.
And the guy that I worked for was Jamaican.
Oh,
But
yeah?
he was white, blonde hair.
Yeah.
And his whole family was Jamaican, and they were all white.
Right.
So, I'm 16 years old. What do I know?
Yeah.
The first black Jamaican I met, I was like, oh, I'm surprised you're black. He goes, why? and he goes, and I said, because, all Jamaicans are white. He goes,
Oh, man.
what's wrong with you?
I think you're the only person in South Florida that's like, oh, man, you're black and you're Jamaican. That's
No, but
weird,
this
man.
is 30 years ago, There wasn't a lot of Jamaicans
Hey,
around.
that's all right, man. At least they get it
was
once
funny.
in a while, too.
It was funny.
Well, the
It
thing
was.
is, Gretchy doesn't look Jamaican, but he is Jamaican. And
You
he's-
don't look Cuban.
I don't
That's
look
right.
Cuban either.
That's right,
I don't look
man.
Cuban. I could say
I
that.
did
So
not
what?
think
I
that
don't.
Chris was Cuban when I met
I don't look gay, and I'm gay.
Jonathan Martin doesn't look gay, and he's gay too.
Why do you?
Oh,
The
man.
point that I was gonna get was when you go out with your girlfriend, because his girlfriend is darker skin.
Right.
Gretchy's girlfriend's darker skin, and when he goes out there,
He
dude,
still hasn't shown me a picture.
it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, Gretchy, explain what happens when other guys try to talk to your girlfriend like
Well,
that.
that's definitely a problem. I think when people see you with a darker skinned person and then you're light skinned, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I shouldn't.
No,
say
you're
that.
not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Don't
but,
be politically correct
No,
here.
yeah.
No, this is
especially
definitely not
darker
politically
skinned
correct.
dudes, I think they feel some kind of way. So right away, we're a target. You know what I mean? They go right after her, and it's like I'm not even there. So it's kind of when I walk into like a club, let's say, I have to make sure like she's right there next to me because I feel as though I walk like 2 feet away, all of a sudden it's like bees. Can I curse on the show? I don't
You
know.
can curse. It's online. It's internet.
Oh yeah.
It's
bees
internet.
and
Are we
stuff,
even
yeah.
being recorded, Alan? Why don't you check the thing over
Are
there?
you actually like almost in a protective mode, and you're protecting your girl,
Right, I
your
feel
interest?
protective, and also I don't want to say it.
Unlike Jonathan Martin.
Say it, dude. Say it.
Yeah,
man.
I guess I feel like that's not my. I mean, it's not my property. That sounds messed up. I'm using the wrong
No, but
terminology.
that's okay. We understand what you mean.
Right, you know what I mean. So
if somebody touched
right,
your
yeah,
property,
exactly. You know what I mean.
if somebody touched your property, you'd have to step in and say,
right,
"Wait,
yeah,
not
you know what I
here."
mean.
Unlike,
so right
unlike
away,
Jonathan
I
Martin.
feel tense, and
Again.
I'm like, all right, I'm walking in, and it's no matter what, I can feel all eyes just turn, and they're all on us, and I just feel I gotta make sure, you know what I mean, that
Right.
have my eyes open, and keep it
There you go.
close.
And it's a black thing only. Like
No,
black guys are the
definitely,
only
it's
ones that do that.
definitely- I mean, I've been out where I'm in the mall and the security guard pulls up and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I'm standing right here and this dude's pulling up and it's
Am I not visible?
Yeah, I'm looking like. I mean, I know I look kind of white, but I'm like right here. You know what I mean? But he's just, and people don't care. I mean, I think maybe it's a racial thing, I guess.
It is a racial
Yeah,
thing.
you know what I mean, yeah, it's something that.
Yeah, George agrees.
Yeah.
I got a friend of Tom Courtney. Tom is 6'4". He's a big guy, and he dated a black girl, and he's Tom Courtney.
Computer error. Segment lost.
We only have space for Come Mierda. Now you guys know why I hate Clear Channel.
I know why you hate Clear Channel. I just hated it.
I want to see him try to do that.
Yeah, right there.
I'm untouchable.
Who else is gonna run this place?
I'm untouchable. What a disjointed show it's been.
It's been horrible.
It's been a good show, yeah, but half of it wasn't recorded. We didn't record the
Then it
last
wasn't a good
segment.
show.
We didn't record half of the Gretchy segment.
Can we say it's been very George?
You know
Hey,
what?
I'm happy. I'm happy.
That's
I
the
don't-
best damn description I've heard, and it's so fitting.
What an analogy.
Are we rolling? Can you check and see again if
What
we're
an
rolling,
analogy.
Alan? Yes. Okay. Let's hurry up before we freaking stop. Who wants to go first with Come Mierda of the week?
I'll go first. And there's so many of them this week.
There's been a lot.
There's been a lot. Dateline LA. Darren Sharper.
Yeah.
2010, Darren Sharper participated in the writing of a book, and part of the essay that he wrote, money cannot buy women the security and the love that they need. It's going to take strong men to educate young boys, to influence them and other men to deal with women respectfully, to deal with women honorably and fairly at all times.
When they're straight.
He wrote that. He put that in a book. 4 years later, Sharper is being charged with at least 2 rapes in one area, a total of 7 rapes and 11 druggings in 4 different states for asking women to come upstairs and giving them a drink. Mind you, that drink is laced with Ambien or laced with another drug that he was using. What is he doing?
He's an animal.
What is he doing?
That's not a man.
He was caught. He was caught by one of these women.
That's not a human.
That's not a human. That's subhuman. So that, man, come mierda seems like a very light term for him. But requete come mierda might work. Super come mierda might work. Or Alan.
Come mierda from hell.
Thank you. I'm not going to talk about Ray Rice. I'm going to let somebody else do that. I'm going to go straight to a collage of all-in-one. This is for adults that want to tweet and want to send text messages without really knowing what they're doing or who they're sending them to. See, I've sent some saucy text messages before. I know who I'm sending them to, though. I make sure that when it's something questionable, that I check to make sure that it's going
check and double check
to the right person before I hit that send button. So, here's one. Hey, Dan, I can't wait to see your 8-inch line D tonight, X and O. The reply, Ashley, check who you're texting. This is your father, and I know what 8-D means. What does it mean then? It's a smile, of course. That's right, Dad. And then Dad replies, as in the smile on my face when I know you're home grounded for not out playing with Dan's 8-inch ...
Well played. Good. Well played.
That was pretty good. Here's mom sending a text without realizing that there's autocorrect. And if you're not correct spelling, it's going to write something. Check before you hit send, boys and girls. Mom, how's our pregnant little daughter doing? Mom, all caps, how did you know? I meant precious. Sorry. Typo. Wait. Oh, nothing. I'm doing fine.
Oh, my God.
What a way to find out your daughter's pregnant.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
These are coming mierdas. These are coming mierdas.
Oh, my gosh. So here we go. Mom again. So are we going to go screw or what, baby? I thought we would meet again, sweet cheeks. Mom, wrong person. And who the hell is Sweet Cheeks? Never mind. Forget that. So, baby, you want to eat me first or you going to eat first? Mom, it's still your daughter.
Oh, my
Guys,
God.
check who you're texting before you send these texts. A couple more here. Baby, I'm coming over right now. I want the lights off, your clothes off, ready to make me feel as amazing as I'm about to make you feel. Okay, wait, who is this? Oh my God, I got the wrong number. Reply, it's okay, you can still come over. I guess this will be the last one. Oh, this guy did it right though. This guy's cool. This guy's sharp. This guy writes, baby, I know it's too fast, but I really want you. I don't pretend to know it, but I know that I care about you and I love you and I want you. She replies, oh honey, I love you too and I also do, but I'm kind of afraid. Afraid of what, sweetheart? That someday you're gonna love another girl, another one of your ex-girlfriends, and you're gonna love her too. And he goes, yeah, babe, I'm sure that one day I'm gonna fall in love with another girl, probably in about 10 years. But you know what? She's gonna be calling you mommy. Dude, this guy gets the award, bro.
Those are como mierdas.
I gotta go with mierda.
Last one. Dan and I are going out. Dinner's in the microwave. She's texting somebody, obviously. Awesome, you're the best. Where are you heading? He's gonna show me his cock. I'm super excited. Daughter replying, WTF, Mom? Ew, why would you say that? OMG, his cock. Yeah, Mom, I got that, thanks. Stupid phone, Doc. I meant Doc, where he keeps his boat. Yeah, right, excuse me. I'm telling Dad. Guys, check your texts before you send them.
It's kind of a preemptive come mierda there.
I want it as like an ambiance behind it.
LOL.
Do you want the last one? It's really funny.
Go for it, man. Go.
SMH.
Mom to her son. Hey, hon, can you pick up your Viagra on the way home? Thank you. Mom, I don't need any of that. Don't you want to grow to be big and strong just like your father? Nasty, Mom. Read your text. You read your first text. And she sends back, vitamins. I meant vitamins. And the son, I'm going to be sick.
That was pretty good.
Check your text, boys and girls.
That's pretty good. Have you ever done that? Have you guys ever done that?
Not send it.
I know you don't send text messages, so I'm not going to ask you.
Thank you.
No, he sends them. He just doesn't reply to them.
Go, Theo. You said you got one?
Yeah, I have one, and I'm not going to make any comment. I'm just going to say a name. Mr. Ross. Stephen Ross. I'm going to make a little comment.
Another preemptive comment.
Look, because he goes, I'm only going to say a name. He said Mr. Ross. All right, done. Drop the mic. George, drop the mic. Walk off stage.
All right, now I'm not going to say anything.
No, now you have to. That's it.
Jesus, man.
You know, I'm driving over here, and I'm listening to one of the talk shows, and I'm thinking,
Computer error. Segment lost.
You know who's a come mierda? That freaking computer back there. We've lost. How many great segments have we lost?
Well, we've lost.
We've lost an entire show.
We've lost the last nerd table. We've lost like 3 segments today.
No, this show's been. We only have like the 2 segments and then like cut off half ones. George was even cut off.
No.
Yes, it was.
Yes, in the middle of your story about your friend who dated a black girl. And that's where the story ends. All we know is he dated a black girl.
Let's hurry up, Alan. Oh, my turn. Okay. All right, stop complaining and listen to this shit, okay?
Come McAdoo, son.
My first come mierda of the week is Justin Bieber. No country wants you, buddy. No country wants you. Did you guys see the billboard that was posted?
Yes.
So, the United States is playing Canada in hockey today for the Olympics. No one can hear you.
The women.
No, both men and women.
That's right. The men were playing too, but it wasn't for the gold medal.
Yeah, the women already played.
Yes.
Yeah, the women already played. Men and for Canada and the United States are playing. A billboard in Illinois has posted both, the American flag, the Canadian flag, both players, and in the middle is Justin Bieber. And you know what the wages are? Loser keeps Bieber. No country wants you, Justin Bieber. So for that, you're my first come mierda of the week.
Come mierda.
My last come mierda is another clip, so I gotta stop this. Are we rolling, Alan? Am I doing this for nothing? Can you please just get up?
You're good. You're good for now.
Okay.
You're good.
So during the Super Bowl, do you remember a commercial with Lawrence Fishburne?
Yes.
Do you know who that is, Theo
Yes.
George?
No, I don't.
He's
And I
the
don't remember the commercial.
He's the black guy from. He's the black guy from The Matrix. And what was his commercial?
Oh,
again?
yeah. The guy with
It was for
in the Matrix.
Was it Kia?
Yeah,
I
with
think?
With the Kia commercial.
Yeah, that he sat in the back doing the same Matrix stuff.
Then he did the opera singing.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
exactly.
luxury. Luxury is Lawrence Fishburne in the back of a Kia.
So,
Okay.
You got to figure out, who you're talking to. This anchorman is interviewing one of the most outrageous and loudest black people that you can interview. Yeah, he's an actor, very famous actor. He's a very famous Samuel L. Jackson.
He's a motherfucking Jedi.
And he was confused with Lawrence Fishburne by this guy, which is coming off extremely racist. And Samuel Jackson just kicks his ass, basically.
It was so good.
Oh,
And
he ripped him for a long time.
Go ahead.
Here's just a little bit of it.
I tell you what, you working for Marvel, the Super Bowl commercial, did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, you know what? I've been my mistake.
See what? See, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
That's my fault. I know that. That was my fault. My mistake. You know what?
We don't all look alike.
Floggy, you're
We may
exactly
be
right.
all black and famous.
You
but
are
we all don't look
guilty.
alike.
I am guilty.
Next question.
I am guilty.
He thought you were Bob Dylan.
Right. That's right.
You're the entertainment reporter.
I know. I'm dumb
You're the
blind.
entertainment reporter
Right.
for this station.
Flog.
And you don't know the
Oh, he
difference
just slapped
between
his face.
Lawrence Fishburne?
My mistake. My mistake. I apologize. Really, my big mistake. Let's talk
That
about.
must be a very short line for your job
I'll
outside
say.
there.
No, it probably would not be hard to get another person to sit right here. Let's talk about RoboCop.
Oh, hell no. Really? Really?
Lawrence Fishburne, motherfucker. Do you know who I am, motherfucker? I'm Samuel motherfucking Jackson, motherfucker.
I like how he then starts breaking down the black people by their commercials.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the Capital One guy. The what's in your wallet. Lawrence Fishburne is the this guy. and this one is this guy.
Right.
I'm what's in your wallet. You understand, motherfucker?
So for that TV reporter, and Samuel Jackson is probably one of the most famous black actors that are now going. You gotta set them apart. I know in you like to drop the N-word a lot when you're with your homies and you say they all look the same. You can't do that on TV though, bro. You can't do that on TV. So for that, TV anchorman, you are my come mierda of the week.
You're not a badass. Come mierda! Ha! Well,
I wonder who's banging this girl.
It's been a plentiful 2 weeks for Come Mierda.
Yes, it has.
So I'm gonna
been.
start with hockey.
Okay.
All right. Out in Russia, the Russian ladies are playing the Japanese ladies. The Japanese ladies pull out something that I don't understand why it's not in hockey more. I would watch if this was in hockey more often. What is it, you ask? The knuckle puck. The Japanese ladies score their first goal in 3 years with a knuckle puck.
Oh.
Why can't we get a fucking knuckle puck in the Florida Panthers? I would watch for a knuckle puck. What do you mean a knuckle puck?
You don't know what a knuckle
Oh my
puck
god,
is?
you don't know.
You've never seen the Mighty Ducks?
It's from a Disney movie. They
Mighty
pick up a
Ducks.
guy. They go to like the Junior Olympics. They pick up a guy whose only skill is to put the puck like up and then hit it, and then it just kind of like a knuckleball. It just kind of goes all over the place.
Yeah.
The
It's
Japanese
knuckle
ladies
puck,
did it.
man. That's awesome.
All right. Speaking of Russia, we have some reports out of Russia. One of which being their water is the color of piss, and it is advised you do not drink it, nor wash your face with it. No, that's right. They give you bottles of water to do the brushing of your teeth and the washing of your face, but showering it's okay, despite the fact it's like a very deep lager in its color. It's really weird. All right. Russia responds to these claims saying, no. It's not a problem. We see in the cameras we have in everyone's bathrooms that it's not a big problem. People leave water on all the time. You're like, so wait a minute. You have cameras in the bathrooms? Yes. But you're not going to tell us why the water's yellow. Yet. But you have cameras watching everyone in the bathroom. Yes. Yeah. So Russia's watching everybody wash themselves. All right, continuing on. Now they're also trying to cheat. Why, you ask? There's a fellow. Let me find his name. He's on the bobsledding team. Scroll.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Quinn. Johnny Quinn on the bobsledding team. Johnny Quinn goes to the bathroom. What does Russia want to do? They want to keep him out of the Olympics. You know what they do? They send him to a bathroom whose door doesn't fucking open. So what does Johnny Quinn have to do? He has to go Reagan Mawia and just rip the door from the middle of the door open. It looks like he birthed his way. Yeah, he just birthed and punched his way out. All right, Russia, you failed, you son of a bitches. But they're persistent because then he gets in an elevator. The elevator's stuck. We prepared for the Olympics. We have bathrooms that don't open, yellow acid water, cameras in the showers, and elevators that don't work while they try to keep Americans from the games. You deserve that fucking knuckle puck from those shitty Japanese hockey playing women, you son of a bitches. All right, I'm done with Russia. Now I move on to the thing that I truly hate, baseball.
Oh, baseball.
So, two things in this world I hate: baseball and general corruption. So, the NCAA. There is a player. Let me find him. He plays for Oklahoma State.
Oh, I heard this.
He's a pitcher. And he got drafted in the 5th round. So, he was going to negotiate with the Phillies. So, negotiations didn't go so well. He didn't sign with the Phillies. This happens. College players can get drafted. Now, in order to make an educated decision, it's usually, advisable that you get someone of an agent-esque ilk to be with you so you can do the contract talks. This apparently is a known practice. It kind of has to happen. You don't want, 18-year-olds making decisions with millions of dollars on the line. But it is technically against NCAA policy. We'll move on from that form of corruption. So this guy, he doesn't hire an agent. He has an agent advise him. In the event it works, the agent will then sign on. He's done with being an amateur. It didn't work. Goes back to Oklahoma State. So he gets suspended for this year for having an agent. And you're like, who the fuck said something? It wasn't him. It wasn't the agent. You know who it was? The Philadelphia Phillies are now ratting on people to the corrupt NCAA. I'd have you abolished, you son of a bitches. So for that, for all of Russia, bless you, you polar bear wielding bastards. Come mierda.
Walked off the mic. You awake, Theo Carlos? You
I'm
all right?
awake. I'm fine. I've been reading some very disturbing news on Twitter. LeBron James has been taken off the court after he went down on a dunk, and he's in the locker room, and will be updated soon.
Are you trolling us?
No, I'm not trolling. And Dan Le Batard just tweeted out that now up to 47 men, 3 have lost arms. Papi is chewing a security guard's face off right now, trying to get into the Oklahoma City locker room.
Wait, is that...
I'm 100% serious.
When I thought this show couldn't get worse.
Le Batard, 2 minutes ago.
No!
Papi's shouting a slew of Spanish curses. He's just embedded a Chinese star in Jeremy Lamb's forehead. Is that a grenade in his other hand?
That's bad news, boys.
That was Ibaka that took him down on a dunk.
That's bad news, boys.
Spo just come out. Spo on King James. Status is a nose. Swollen, got his nose. It's sore. We'll reevaluate.
It's the nose?
Are we dead? All right. Miami Heat
No, we're
forward
still in.
LeBron James went down with a bloody nose midway through the 4th quarter.
Flop.
Bloody nose.
No, he got taken down hard.
He did, but the first line is bloody nose.
Okay, good. I'm glad you read that before.
You still haven't done your come mierda?
I did mine already.
Yeah, we're done.
I played the audio.
I know, but then
He was busy. He wasn't
we're
paying
done,
attention.
right?
Well, yeah, I gotta say thank you and goodbye.
Oh, thank you, goodbye.
Thank you. Well, this isn't getting posted, so thank you guys for being patient with us.
Why not?
We'll be posted on YouTube. So, Alan, where do you find us on YouTube?
At the Sports Table.
Look for us on Facebook. Carlos, now's your chance. Go ahead and promote that
All right,
blog.
here we go
buddy.
now. You know I got a lot to
No,
say.
wait. Let me make sure it's recording. You're good. Go.
Sports_table at Twitter, and the new blog is up and running, boys and girls. There's 2 of them up, and you can find that at, let me see if I can get this right, sportstable.blog.wordpress.com.
Oh,
That's sportstable.blog.wordpress.com. Go there, read, leave me comments, and we got a comment from Halfbeard last week, and I was pretty happy, so thank you very much, Halfbeard.
What'd he say?
Halfbeard pretty much said that this is the right medium for me because it does not contain me to 140 characters. So he wants to see more of it.
That's
so
fair.
More is up, and we'll be up.
Well, for Theo Carlos, for Theo George, for Alan, for Mike Gretchen, for Troy Stratford, I'm Chris. We're the Sports Table. We'll try it better next time, guys.
We got it, guys. Peace.
We'll see you guys next week.
Llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarí. De Ando Cero voy para Marcané. Llego a Puerto,